Here, Ali Abunimah gets into a lot of facts and figures about Gaza. Pay close attention to what he has to say about Israeli shelling of Gaza, because it refutes a myth. The myth you hear all the time that the Israeli government just put up with this endless shelling for years before doing anything in retaliation.
1 year ago, for 22 days, Gaza was subjected to merciless bombardment. We all know the Israeli claims that this was in self-defense. We can, a lot has been published debunking that in fact there were no rockets being fired at Israel until Israel broke the ceasefire negotiated ceasefire with Hamas that took effect on June 19th, 2008 and lasted until November 4th, 2008, when Israel broke it by attacking Gaza and killing 6 people. We all know the statistic. Israel says that 8,000 projectiles have been fired from Gaza into Israel since April 2001. But we never hear what Israel has fired into Gaza. Just to give you an example, in just an 18-month period from September 2005 until May 2007, Israel fired 14,617 artillery shells into the Gaza Strip, causing extensive death and destruction. That was according to a report from Human Rights Watch. In total, since the first rocket was fired from the Gaza Strip into Israel, and that happened in April 2001, a total of 24 Israelis have been killed by such missiles. It's not an insignificant number. The first 2 people to be killed by rockets fired from the Gaza Strip were Afik Zahavi, age 4, and Mordechai Yosefov, age 49, who were killed by a Qassam rocket on June 28, 2004. So Israelis have been affected by this. But to put this in perspective, I just told you that 23 Israelis have been killed, or 24 have been killed in the entire history of rocket fire from the Gaza Strip. On just one day, on June 17, 2009, Israel killed 22 people in the Gaza Strip, 18 civilians, 8 of them children, and 4 volunteers defending Gaza. The youngest child, Asil al-Kafarna, was aged 1. On January 18th, the next day, 33 people were killed, 26 civilians and 5 children. The youngest was aged 5, and you can go on day after day after day, and it's like that. According to an assessment by an EU mission sent to look at the damage, 84% of the damage in the Gaza Strip from Operation Cast Lead was to housing, agriculture, and industry. In other words, 84% of the damage was to civilian infrastructure, private homes and businesses, and so on. Still today, more than 20,000 people are displaced from their homes, either living with relatives and in many cases living in tents. Over 15,000 homes sustained sufficient damage to displace more than 100,000 Palestinians initially. Today, now, since Operation Cast Lead, 46% of the agricultural land in Gaza has been put out of production due to damage caused by Israel to farms and to Israeli-declared buffer zones, really free fire zones. And just in the past week, Israel dropped leaflets on the Gaza Strip warning people that if they came within a certain distance, they usually say 300 meters from the border, they'll be shot. But in practice, this free fire zone sometimes extends 1 or 2 kilometers out from the border. And given the small size of Gaza, it means a significant, almost half of the agricultural land is out of use.